Yo, what's up, man? Yeah, what's happening, man? How's it been? How you been? Yeah, I'm just looking at some bills, trying to see. I got my light bill, cell phone bill. Yeah, I'm available. What's it pay? Oh, exposure? That's good, man. That's good because I just got these bills. I was trying to figure out how I was gonna pay those. All right, man. Let me get ready. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Hope you stayed booked. Today we're going to be talking about promoters, managers, bar managers. Um, Not so much club managers because they're a little bit different than the bar managers. Things that we deal with bartenders, wait staff. A couple of weeks ago, I posted a video talking about the venues that we deal with when it comes to like event coordinators, photographers, the parking, all the issues that we have with the mobile events. This is going to be for you guys who do bars and clubs. For starters, let's start with promoters. Some of the things we deal with some of the promoters when they call you and they're like, "Hey man, can you do this gig? I got this gig, blah blah blah," and you ask them, "What's it pay?" "Oh well, man, it's going to be for exposure, man. There's going to be a lot of people there, blah blah blah." Exposure doesn't really pay bills. You guys know that. For some of you guys that are starting out, I get it. There's a reason why you would probably do it. I get that part. But for guys that have been doing it for a while, I mean, we all know, man. I mean, exposure doesn't really get you anything. Not saying that charity work is bad. I mean, there's a difference between exposure and between doing charity work. When you're doing charity work, for example, say someone passed away and they're trying to raise money, that kind of thing, I get it. It helps with exposure, and you're also doing something good for the community. But all I'm saying is that it's one thing to do charity work, it's another to do exposure, and especially if you're not really getting anything out of it. The other thing is, a lot of times, these promoters or whoever's putting the event together, most of the time they're getting paid. They're making their money. I've had some people where they've told me, hey, well, if you do it for exposure or if you do it for, 150 bucks, I'll get you some more business. Now, I don't want $150 business. I mean, it's just not worth it. A lot of times it's just not worth it. You just gotta, I guess you could say you gotta pick your battles. But yeah, that's one of the issues we deal with promoters. The other issue that we deal with is promoters who don't pay. Now I'm talking about the kind that when at the end of the night you're calling them and like, hey man, where you at? I just need to collect. And oh man, I left early. Give me a call tomorrow, or I'll pay you next week. And then that week turns into 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and sometimes you don't even get paid at all. So those kind of promoters, I mean, I'm not saying that all promoters are bad. There's some really good ones. There's some really bad ones. The other issue I think that we have is bar managers. I don't want to say club managers because club managers they're a little different. They're really having to deal with a lot of stuff. Very similar, but not quite the same. Because with clubs, a lot of clubs sometimes they're just specific genre. There's country clubs. There's just hip hop clubs. There's really not a lot of open format clubs per se. Bars, on the other hand, most bars are open format. But for some reason, it seems like these bar managers, and again, like I said, I'm not saying all of them, but it seems like a lot of bar managers are trying to dictate what the DJ should play, when he should play it, that kind of thing. To me, I feel that if the bar manager feels like they have to dictate and tell them the DJ what to play and when to play, you chances are you probably hired the wrong DJ. You don't hire a band and tell them, well, no, don't play this or play that or don't play this. You're hiring a band because they simply play a certain type of style. So it's the same thing with the DJ. You're hiring them because you want them to set the mood. You want them to set the vibe for the room. Their job, the DJ's job, is to read the crowd. Most of the time, it's an open format, so whatever the crowd is, that's what the DJ should go with. Because the DJ is there to entertain, but on top of that, yes, he does have to keep in mind the bartenders, the bar staff. But as I always tell people, it's like, as long as they're in here, I'll set the mood. The more packed we get, it's job security for the DJ and it's more money for the bartenders and wait staff. So I don't understand why bar managers feel like they have to dictate what the DJ should play. I don't know if this is a region thing. I don't know if it's happening all around the country or anywhere else, but let you guys let me know in the comments. Which takes me now to bartenders and wait staff. I'm not saying don't request from the DJ. I'm not saying don't talk to the DJ. What I am saying is don't try to dictate how the DJ should play or what he should play. Keep in mind the DJ is not there to entertain the staff. The DJ is there to entertain the customers. The DJ doesn't come up to the bartender and say, "Hey, I really think you should pour this drink this way, and I really think when you make this drink, make it that way." They don't do that. That's not their job. Your job is to entertain the customers by serving them, by wait staff, by making sure that people are getting their orders on time, etc. Same thing with the bar managers. Bar managers, in reality, your job is really to make sure that the bartenders are not overpouring, that they are not, over serving, that they're, that the place is clean, that the wait staff is taking care of the customers, etc. And I think maybe part of the reason that we're having this problem with bar managers trying to dictate what the DJ should play is because they're just not hiring the right DJ. And I think they may have a lot to do with because of what bars are wanting to pay now. A lot of these bars are wanting to pay $125 and a bar tab for 5 or 6 hour sets. Sad thing about it is we got DJs that will do that. But on top of that, then they want you to make flyers. They want you to promote for them. First thing that comes out of their mouth, well, what kind of following do you have? Well, see, that's where we're getting it all wrong. And I need to make another video about DJs that are doing it all wrong. There's a lot of you guys that are taking these gigs. Some of you guys are even splitting the gig with another DJ. I mean, for that, you might as well just go work at McDonald's. And the worst part, then most of these bars are, asking you to bring equipment. And we're going to have a video about that. Like I said, I'm kind of getting off the subject a little bit here. But yeah, back to the $125 an hour, for a night. That's probably why you bars aren't getting the right people. And again, I don't know if this is a region thing, but it seems to me like it's just mostly Houston and surrounding areas. Because if you go to Austin, they pay a lot better. Miami sure as hell pays a lot better. And it just seems like here in Houston, they just want some noise. I don't understand. I just don't understand why bars here don't take pride in their establishments. One of the things that I've noticed is, like, for example, here bars, they go buy a little cheap LED light they got off Amazon. They put it over the dance floor and they call it a night. They're like, "Oh man, it looks great." And then they'll tell you like, "Oh, you don't need to bring equipment. We got a whole setup." I'll give you guys a story. For example, I went to a bar one time and they had like this old PV 32 channel, maybe from the late 80s. 32 channel board was all caked up with a bunch of dust. Had one RCA cable coming out of it, and then you had one speaker in the corner. I believe it was a PV, and then the other one was a Behringer. They were all like carpeted, like the really old style. And then they had like two PV subs, and they still had like some old amplifiers and all that. It was old setup, Yeah, it sounded horrible. And so I just don't understand why, people in this area do not take pride in their establishments, And I get it. I know there's a lot of DJs out there that tear up the equipment, and so I kind of understand that part. But you go anywhere else in the country, Miami, Dallas, Austin, New York, and they have some nice setups. Some places, mostly clubs, but here it's like it's just trash, man. I don't know what I don't know how it is that we're the fourth largest city in the country. I believe we're the fourth largest, and we're like the worst when it comes to the entertainment. I mean, and we've had Super Bowls here. We've had the World Series now with the Astros, and we're getting known, but our entertainment is just horrible. For example, here a lot of the DJs are playing if it's not Bad Bunny, it's Drake. If it's not Drake, it's just whatever's on the radio. You guys are not really taking people on the journey as a DJ. You go anywhere else like Austin, Dallas, like I said, New York, LA, you can play hip hop, you can play disco, you can play a top 40. I mean, you can play pretty much anything, EDM. As long as it's good, they don't care if it's new, they don't care if it's old. As long as you set it up right and people are having a good time, they're there and they're drinking. and they're enjoying it because it's not something they can just walk into, get into their car and boom, turn it on, and it's right there on the radio. Same thing you just heard in the club. That's the difference. But again, I don't know. I don't know what it is about the surrounding areas here that's happening. Which brings me also to, since we were talking about gear and whatnot, man, I don't understand why a lot of times, I'm going to say maybe about 90% of the bars and clubs here, why are you guys still running sound in mono? I mean, it's not 1970, it's not 1980. I mean, those times are gone, man. There's a lot of places we go into and they're still running the sound mono. And I'm like, why? And I've been told by some people, they're like, oh, well, it's because, they have to run a zone to, be able to run sound into the patio or whatever. Well, yeah, I get that. But that's because you didn't have all these other things in the 70s and the 80s. Now you got zone controls, you got splitters, you got connectors, you've got digital boards that'll do everything for you. You can set it up stereo to where it'll sound right. But I don't know if it's just the installers that don't know what they're doing and they just, well, this is the way I was taught back in the, from a guy that was installing in the 60s and 70s and 80s or whatever. And maybe that's why they're doing it this way. But it sounds horrible, man. We got to change that too. I mean, it's 2023. I mean, everything's different now. I don't know, man. I feel like bars and clubs just need to do better. Mostly bars, man. They just need to do better here in Houston. DJs need to do better too. But that, like, again, that's, like I said, that's going to be another video. But yeah, I just don't feel like that bars should be asking DJs to promote, to do flyers, to, asking them how many followers they have and whatnot. I mean, if you want that, you should hire a promoter. Unless you're going to pay the DJ a percentage of your bar, then yeah, by all means, yeah, your DJ should do that. But I mean, you DJs, you shouldn't be doing that because as a DJ, your job is to keep the people there. The bar or the promoter, their job is to bring them there. So they bring them there, you keep them there drinking, and that's the way it's supposed to work. But it kind of seems like instead of going forward, we're going backwards, And like I said, some of you guys are making, you would be making more money working at McDonald's. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Give me some stories, ideas, what you think, as far as how bars are doing business here, how clubs are doing business here, how the way they're treating, you know, the DJs. I mean, it's bad enough DJs, we're already having to deal with drunk people and people, the way they're requesting music nowadays, everyone kind of feels entitled. They kind of feel like you're their personal jukebox, and it's changed a whole lot, man. I mean, it's totally different. But if anything, I mean, you guys should be charging more. I mean, I don't know. We'll do another video about that. But before we leave, like I said, make sure you guys leave a comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. Also, I want to thank Aaron at Gator Cases. Thank you, Aaron. Make sure you guys check them out on Instagram at Gator Cases. Gator Cases. Aaron took care of me. I had an issue with some speaker stands. If you guys take a look out, they were kind of getting gummy around the edge here. It was kind of weird. They were four speaker stands. They were doing this. They were getting all kind of gummy and sticky. And I spoke to a couple of DJs, and they were like, "Hey, man, what's probably because of the humidity." And I was like, "Well, I've got four speaker poles that are the same material, and that's not happening." So anyway, I called Aaron at Gator Cases, and he says, "Well, man, do me a favor." He goes, "Send me a proof of purchase." He goes, "And I'll make it right." Sure enough, I shipped them I sent them the proof of purchase. I shipped them the speaker stands, and within a week or so, I've got some new ones back. So thank you, Aaron. Make sure you guys check out their stuff, man. I mean, I've got some of their microphone stands. I've got some of their speaker stands, their speaker poles, and I just bought this boom stand that, I mean, they make good quality stuff. The Frameworks line, it's a little more expensive, but it's definitely worth the money. So make sure you guys check them out. Thank you again, Aaron, at Gator Cases. Also want to thank my buddy Ronnie at Chase Records. He sent me some merch. He is working on with some artists. He's got this guy here, Arson Banks. They're doing some stuff, man. He's starting to grow, so make sure you check him out on Instagram at R_Chase_2022. I think that's right. If not, I'll post it down here and you guys can check him out. Also want to thank my sponsor, Mega DJ Center, like always. He's always there. He always helps me out. Thank you, Vin. Make sure you guys check them out at shopmegadj.com, or you can check them out on Instagram at Mega DJ Center. And of course, if you guys want to check out some of the DJ stuff that I do, check it out on DLF_entertainment. You can also check out my shorts, not my shorts, but my video shorts that I'm going to be doing on YouTube. That's going to be DLF_media. You guys check that out. Make sure you guys subscribe and follow. I'll see you guys on the next one.